Hello everyone and welcome to Cricket World. Okay, now a busy week of cricket. JP, welcome.
Hello Jim.
Looking forward to hearing what you've got to say with us today. Now, it's been a long week and we've got some more cricket to look forward to. First of all though, what's been happening this week in cricket?
We're going to start off in India, where India have been playing Sri Lanka, much anticipated test series. It's a 3-match test series. Ahmedabad hosted the first test. Sadly, for those of you who like results, ended in a draw. Some of us predicted it, some of us didn't. India reduced to 32 for 4 on the first one and recovered to post 426 brilliant centuries from Rahul Dravid and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. But if they thought that was good, well, Sri Lanka then said, well, it's back for nearly 3 days. 760 for 6. Mahela Jayawardene 275. Prasanna Jayawardene 154 not out. That was a career best for him. And Tilakarani Dilshan got it all going with 110. Now that meant India had to score 334 to keep the game alive, and they did. So it just proves how well the pitch was holding up. Sachin Tendulkar, his 43rd Test century, and Gautam Gambhir got 114. They closed the game on 412 for 4, and we move on to Camper, all square.
So 1,500 runs in a game, not a bad track then?
Very good track. Too good, the bowlers would say.
Brilliant. Okay, so looking ahead to the second test then, what might we expect from that?
I think we can expect, I don't think it'll be quite as good a pitch. I think it might be a little bit more in hand for the bowlers, but I would say going into that test, Sri Lanka are probably the team with more momentum because they actually managed to bowl India out. India also only took the 6 wickets. I think the Sri Lankan bowlers, we may well see Mendes back. I think Sri Lanka will go into that match with a little bit more confidence, although obviously the likes of Dravid and Dhoni are in pretty good form. And
any team changes, any injury scares?
One definite team change. Dhamaka Prasad, the Sri Lankan fast bowler, has a sore hamstring. He won't be playing, so Dilara Fernando could come in. There's no Tino Tashara either. He was ruled out of the entire Test series, so Dilara Fernando's in for him. And we may well see Mendes come in for Hirath, who was, to be honest, quite ineffective. But Dhoni is fit as well, so there was a scare over him. There's a scare over Dilshan. He injured his nose in a post-match worn-down game. I don't really know the details. No, we shouldn't know, but he's okay. His nose is fine. He is available for selection.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, 2 other teams that have been playing with their own selection. What should we say?
Dilemmas.
Dilemmas is exactly what I was looking for. England are playing in South Africa. It's been an interesting start to their tour with the 2020s, bit of rain, and then an absolute mauling really by South Africa of England. But then on to the ODIs. So what's happening there?
Longer format. England find their form. First of all, the rain came down in Johannesburg, and it really did come down. That was a complete washout the first game. Interestingly, our sources in Cape Town said it's lovely and sunny here, they should be playing it here. But they're going to Cape Town this weekend, so let's hope the weather holds. Second game in Centurion Park. It had been wet over the week, which is why the pitch, when they got there, was fairly slow. South Africa scored 250 for 9, a decent score on that pitch. Hashim Amla and Alvaro Peterson scoring half centuries, but England, led by Paul Collingwood, chased that down with 4 overs to spare, 252 for 3. Collingwood 105 not out, his 5th one-day international century. Jonathan Trott giving him superb support with 87, and that puts England 1-0 up with 2 to play.
It could have been a different story, though, couldn't it, really? There's 2 things I picked out from there. One was that Andrew Strauss dropped 3 catches at extra cover, one of which I will admit was a very, very tough chance, but 2 really in the bread basket, so England could have bowled them out for 220. But the other way of looking at it is that South Africa will probably feel they were 30 runs short of where they'd like to have been on a good track.
It's exactly what Graham Smith said afterwards, and given the way that Collingwood and Trott, and even Owen Morgan came in at the end and smashed 27 in 18 balls, he said we were probably 30-40 runs short. 280 would have been a good score and a good game.
So a good week all round for Paul Collingwood?
Certainly was. I mean, he overtook Alex Stewart's record of 171 day international caps. That took a brilliant catch to start the day, a couple of wickets, and he was today named as the Cricket World Player of the Week as well.
It's not his birthday as well, is it, by any chance?
Not today. If you've been listening to on this day on Cricket World Live, you would know that. But a fine week for Paul Collingwood.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we're off to, say, Cape Town on Friday.
That would be nice.
Well, you know,
the teams are.
The teams are, would be nice. What we might expect from that is a bit of a backlash, do we think, or?
Very important in Cape Town under lights is the toss. Very, very rarely does a team bat second and win, so the toss is going to be vitally important. If England win the toss there, they'll be very confident in the way they're batting. They've got a good balance to their side at the moment. Peterson at 3, Trott opening enables big hitters to come in, Morgan, Pryor, Wright, even Bresnan or Broad when he comes back. So they're looking strong. South Africa have lost out on the services of Jacques Kallis. He won't be available until the Test series if they're lucky, so they're going to have to regroup. New opening combinations, Smith, Amla, perhaps Gibbs might come back, or they might promote Roy Peterson.
Interesting you can talk with Peterson's there, is that Kevin Peterson has managed to show himself no ill effects from his Achilles injury, and looks to be just getting himself back up to sort of to match speed, if you like.
So far so good. I mean, didn't get many runs so far, but he won't. He's only just coming back. Unfortunately for him, the rest of the batting order, he's fine. I think that's going to help him, because he's so often, England could be guilty of relying on, say, him and Strauss.
Playing around him, whereas maybe now he can fit into a team that are all firing.
And needs the Trotts, the Collingwoods, the Morgans, they're all firing. It means the pressure's not so much on him. I think that might help.
And of course, without Callis as well, you mentioned there a moment ago, I think he's got a cracked rib, isn't he? So he's out until the Test series. A little bit weak on the bowling South Africa. They've got too much really in the way of changing what they're doing. I've always felt that too much pace on the ball plays into hands on hard wickets. That's
right, and you're looking at sort of your Albie Moore calls, your JP Duminis to get through 10 overs, and if they get hit early on, then Smith is struggling. So
and of course, Collie and his wobblers, and Trott managed to do a bit of a job.
Too short of 100 ODI wickets now, so plenty of milestones coming up for Collingwood as well.
Brilliant. Okay, well, actually fantastic to look ahead to that. And talking of looking ahead, it's a really busy week, because I think that there's, well, who isn't playing cricket this week?
Well, the top 8 teams in the world are all playing Test cricket this week. Absolutely fantastic. We've got New Zealand taking on Pakistan in Dunedin. I think they could be 2 very closely matched sides. Also teams with various selection issues, injuries. Eunice Carr not travelling, of course. And then, of course, 2 days later, Australia take on the West Indies at Brisbane, and Chris Gale, his mother's recovering well. She's back home, so he's on his way back to Australia. He will be leading side. They actually drew their tour match with Queensland, putting in a very good batting effort second time round, so they'll carry a bit of confidence. For Australia, it's the first Test since that memorable day at the Oval where they lost the Ashes, so they'll be looking to bounce back.
And we're keeping a keen eye on them indeed, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Tune into Cricket World Live on cricketworld.com, and you'll hear all the latest.
Thanks for joining us, JP. Insightful as ever. And we look forward to seeing you again on Cricket World.